Okay, so your assignment is to work on IXL skill N8 and get to a smart score of 60. So this IXL skill is all about properties of rhombuses. So it's all about different rules that apply to just rhombuses. So you're not going to see any other quadrilateral in this skill. Okay, so I would have your notes or at least a list of the different properties that rhombuses follow. And so you can, look at them as a reference. So this first problem, it tells us that it's a rhombus, and then it asks for the angle of FCG. So FCG is going to be this angle right here. Okay, so something that we need to know about rhombuses is that they bisect opposite angles. Okay? And we also know that opposite angles are congruent. All right? So if this right here is bisecting this angle, then if this side is 57, this side is also going to be 57. And if the opposite angle is also congruent, then I know that this side is going to be 57 and this side of the angle is going to be 57. Okay? That still doesn't help me with this blue part that I have labeled here. But we also know that the diagonals are perpendicular. So that means that where they cross makes 90-degree angles. So I know that this angle right here is 90 degrees. Well, if I have gotten that this angle is 57, this angle is 90, then I should be able to find out what this angle is by subtracting all that from 180 because the angles inside of a triangle are supposed to equal 180. So if I do 180 minus this 90-degree angle minus that angle that's 57, so 180 minus 90 minus 57, you get 33 degrees. So that means that this angle right here that they wanted, FCG, is going to be 33 degrees. So I'm going to type 33. Okay. So it says quadrilateral is HIJK is a rhombus. And then it wants to know the measurement of IKJ. So let's see what angle they're actually talking about. IKJ. Okay, so let's start off with working with what I do know. So I know that opposite angles are congruent. So if this angle is 68, that means that this angle is going to be 68. Okay? And if this angle is 68, then I know that this whole angle right here, this whole thing has got to equal 180 with 68. So 180 minus 68 is 112. Okay? So that means that this whole thing is 112. Okay? I don't want the whole thing. I just want that blue part. And we know that that diagonal cuts that in half. So all I have to do is take that 112 and divide it by 2 so I can get half of it. And 112 divided by 2 is 56. So that means that just that little part that I'm going to put in pink is 56 degrees. And that's the part that they're asking for. So I'm going to put 56. Okay? This question is asking for the measure of angle WTX. So I need to do that first. So WTX is going to be that angle that I've marked in blue. So let's try to do what we know so far. So if this is 35 I know that this side is 35 because they're bisected, and I know these two across of them are 35 because opposite angles are perpendicular or congruent. I'm sorry. And I also know that where the diagonals cross in the middle is a right angle. Okay? So if I'm wanting to know this green part, I should just take 180 and subtract that 90 and subtract that 35, and I get 55 degrees. So that means that this little part is 55 degrees. And the reason I know that is because all three angles in a triangle are supposed to equal 180, right? So if I had 35 and I had that this was 90, all I had to do was just subtract those from 180 and I'd get this piece that was left over, which was 55. Okay? So we have another rhombus because that's all that we're working with on this skill. And it wants to know the measure of FEH. FEH is right there, which I marked in green. FEH. Okay, so let's mark what we do know by this 27 that it's got going on. If this side is 27, then I know that this side is also going to be 27. And I also know that this is a right angle. So just like the problem before it, here's a triangle. I've got two of the angles. To find this third angle, all I have to do is subtract them from 180. So I have 180 minus that 90-degree angle, and then minus that angle that's 27. 180 minus 90 minus 27 is going to be 63 degrees. So that means that this little blue part that I was trying to find is 63 degrees. Okay, so we have another rhombus. This question is asking for the measure of HIK. HIK. Let's work with what I do know. So I know that because this is a rhombus, so its opposite sides are congruent. So if this is 56, then its opposite angles are congruent. Then the angle opposite, which is right here, is also going to be 56. Okay? I know that consecutive angles equal 180. That means angles beside each other equal 180. So that means that this 56 and this whole angle is supposed to equal 180. So if I do 180 minus 56, I get 124. Okay, so that means that this whole blue part is supposed to equal 124. I don't need that whole thing. I just need this part that I've done in dark blue. So I just need to half it because I know that that bisects that. So 124 divided by 2 is 62 degrees. So that means that this little part I need is 62 degrees. So that's what I type in for the measure of HIK. Okay? So this problem is asking us for the measure of HEI. HEI is going to be this angle right here. Okay? So like the times before, I know if this is 28, I know that this across from it is going to be 28. Both sides are going to be 28, and I know that where the diagonals cross in the middle is a 90-degree angle. So to find this little piece that's left over, I just have to subtract those two angles from 180. So 180 minus that 90-degree angle minus 28 is going to be 62 degrees. So that means that little part that I have the green arrow pointing towards, that's what I'm trying to find. That's going to be 62 degrees. Okay, so you're seeing that most of these problems are the same. So if you can, come up with this process that we're doing, you mostly do that same process on every single problem. Okay, so let's see if this one's the same. So this one's asking us for the measure of AFGI. So FGI. Okay, so this is kind of the same. If I know that this side is 57 degrees, then this side is also going to be 57 degrees. And I know that this makes a right angle. So if I'm just trying to find this little part right here, I just need to subtract both of those angles from 180. So 180 minus 57 and minus 90 is going to be 33 degrees. So this right here is going to be 33 degrees. FGI. I only have to get to a smart score of 60, and I'm already at 55, so it looks like I'm just going to have to do one more. So it's asking for T angle TWV. TWV. Okay? So if this angle is 59, let's do it in blue. If this angle is 59, I know that this is going to be 59. I also know that where the diagonals cross makes a 90-degree angle. So if I'm just looking for this little last piece right here, I'm just going to take 180 minus that 90-degree angle minus 59, and that gives me 31 degrees. So that means that this little piece right here is 31. Now, just so y'all understand why I'm using 180, it's because this makes a triangle, right? And if I have two angles of the triangle, I know that they're all supposed to equal 180, so I can find the other one if I have at least two. We've been doing that kind of thing all year. I just want y'all to see that that is actually a triangle. So we said it's going to be 31 degrees. Okay, so we've gotten to a 60. We're good to go. Let me know if you guys need any help.